So here we go. William Lane Craig's talking about we actually have on our side logic. So I taught logic at the Christian school, Intro to Logic, to 7th and 8th graders. And I had several kids in there from our church. And I said, go tell the pastors in Abundant Life we need to teach logic to young people, right? How do you think that went?
Great.
Right? I mean, do you think logic applies at all in your Christianity? It doesn't. This is a hard road to get paved here, is to get the church to understand that if you can apply intellectual understanding, your heart is going to grow. So logic is essential in today's culture, essential to be able to combat the lies that are going on in our culture, because just arguing isn't going to get there. And the gospel is so logical. So we're going to apply logic. When we do this again, we get back to book 1 and we go through it. We're doing a whole series on logic, because I want to teach you guys some of the basics so that you get it, like what's a premise, what's deduction versus induction. I'm about to show you a deductive argument. What a deductive argument means is if you can show what are called premises statements, and you look at that statement and you go, that's true, and the next one builds on the previous one, then when you get to the conclusion, it's certain. You can't argue it. It's true because the premises are true. Example, Socrates was a man. Maybe not so true anymore today, but if you think Socrates was a man, right? I'll make it easier because now I realize there's confusion here. Socrates was mortal. All mortal people die. Therefore, Socrates died. So the first premise, yeah, he wasn't God, he was just a guy, he's mortal. Mortal people we know got great experience on that, everybody dies. So the conclusion is certain. There's no debate. We know it's right because the premises are right. Does this make sense? The moral argument. Here we go. If God does not exist, objective values and duties do not exist. Let's park here for a minute. Somebody tell me the definition of objective. Right, right. So if there's no God, you can't have objective moral values and duties. Why not?
There's no standard.
Right, everybody's got their own opinions. You follow me? No, I mean, seriously now, you good? Objective moral values and duties do exist. Can anybody think of an example? Murder. Murder seems to be wrong all the time. I'll give you one obvious. It's wrong to torture babies for fun. Would you agree? Gwyneth's looking at me going, I don't know, I could see. No, you know, it just, right? You could think of things like that. Matter of fact, our whole legal system is built around objective moral values and duties. So if you agree they exist, God exists. God exists. If there are no objective moral values and duties, there's no God. But there are objective moral values and duties. Therefore, God exists. You guys okay? You see how easy this is? You're going to be argued in the culture that there's no such thing as morality. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to show you a slide in a minute. And yet, you're going to look at them and think, that's about as dumb as saying that one day a doctor's going to give birth to a baby and look at the parents and go, what do you want it to be, boy or girl? It's like, well, look at the piping, for crying out loud. Everybody knows what this is, right? But That's how silly it is because we know the difference, and it's the same thing with objective moral values and duties. You guys okay? Now, is there any wisdom literature out there where there's somebody being described as morally set apart from all of mankind? Does such a thing exist? Huh? You know, he says crazy things, doesn't he? He goes, here's the deal. I want you to set yourself apart to me. You know why? Because I'm perfect. I'm holy and perfect. God constantly throughout the Bible describes himself as above all others in terms of moral perfection in who he is. So if we go back to the argument, God must exist, we can find him in the Bible. That God is right there. He's not hard to find.